Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, and there were devas, right? Or these were all gods. So not exactly gods in Indian mythology. You can consider them as demigods if you put a parallel to Greek mythology and all. So these were all Indra, Vayu, Varuna, Agni, and all of them. They were all there. They had so much power that they were very, very proud. Yeah, they were like, nobody can defeat us, nothing can happen to us. We will just be the most powerful ones. And they were always enjoying just, listening to music, and they weren't even caring about people, who were on the earth and all of that. So this one sage, okay, named Durvasa, he thought, let me do something about this. So he, in a very nice, dramatic manner, he took a nice garland. Okay, it was filled with fragrant flowers. Like, even if it was miles away, you could honestly smell it. It was so beautiful. He came to the Devaloka, or the heavens. He went there, and he told to Indra, who's the god of the gods. He said, "Oh Indra, this is for you for being such a powerful god." Indra was very proud. He was like, okay, put it. And so they put the garland. It was so nice. The entire, heaven was smelling so beautiful. But somebody was not liking the smell. This was a big elephant named Ayravata. Ayravata was Indra's vehicle. So Ayravata did not like it, because elephants are very, very sensitive to smell, correct? All animals are very sensitive to smell. So Ayravata couldn't think, this is itching my nose and I'm having some sort of an allergy. So what Ayravata did was, it went to Indra, it snatched the garland, and it just, started throwing all the flowers, started trampling it and all of them. All the gods and every other person, including Sage Durvasa, they were looking, what is happening? Why is Ayravata acting like this? Why has Ayravata gone crazy? They were all so upset. The most upset one was Durvasa. And Durvasa sage is known for his anger. So he was like, this is an insult. The devas have insulted me with their power. And so what he did was, he cursed them. He said, let Ayravata go into oblivion. Just get lost somewhere. You cannot find it. And let all you devas and the heavens lose all its power, the glory, everything. So this happened, and the devas, like, very slowly, Ayravata went missing, and there was nothing to look at. Lakshmi, who was a goddess of wealth, she also went away. So there was nothing. They started losing their power. That is when the demons, that is the Asuras, they hatched the plan. They were like, now is a time when these devas are weak. So let us strike when they are weak. So they went and they waged a war. Because devas were not that powerful, so they lost. So they were thrown out of heaven. And demons started ruling the heavens. And they started doing all sorts of atrocities. They started killing humans, troubling the sages. Everything started happening. That is when Lord Vishnu, he came in and he called the devas, like, what is happening here? Don't you all have a little bit of common sense as to what should be done to save the heavens, to save the world? I have a plan. Let us all churn the ocean. Which ocean? The milk ocean, or the Kshira Sagara. Kshira means milk in Sanskrit, right? So they said, okay, let us churn the ocean. Why churning? All of you must have seen how milk is churned or curds are churned. What happens when curds are churned? You get butter out of it.
Yes,
You get
ma'am.
buttermilk out of it, right? So and if you actually from milk you can get paneer and all of that as well. So they were like, okay, now let us churn the ocean. When you're churning, what are the different things that one need? What do you need when you're churning milk or butter or curds? What is Chandrika? What are you showing? What is this?
Ma'am, a stick.
It's actually some kind of tool when I have buttermilk. I usually make the buttermilk, so I already saw it.
Super lovely. Yes, it's sort of like a stick, right?
Yeah, it's like a stick, but
A type of a branch stick.
So at the bottom it will have some sort of protrusions and all of that, so that it can easily churn. So now they needed a stick. Ivan, you have something to share?
My grandma's manual churning machine has a stick which she has to pound like this, and with a big metal tube like thing. I don't know actually what you call it.
No problem.
It's a cylinder with a on top where she put some milk and whatever, and she starts
pounding it, is it? Oh, lovely. That is nice. I think that's a different way of making it. One of the usual ways of making it, basically you put the stick and then you start turning it like this. So that, like a mixie, like in your mixie, how it happens, no? So you do that. Now,
Man, they do it.
Yes.
Man, they take a thread, put it on the stick and they start to do it like this.
Nice. Actually, they already went off to the next step. Yes. So now Devas and Asuras need a stick. Now, this is an ocean. This is not some vessel that we have at home, correct? So now they needed a big stick. What can be a big stick? It can be a mountain. So Devas went and asked Mandara Parvata. Okay, the name of the mountain is Mandara. They went there and said, "Oh God of mountains, can you be the stick for our churning of the ocean?" Mandara said, "Okay, that is lovely. I will definitely do that." Mandara was very big. So he sat there. Now, like Akshit said, you need a thread or a rope in order to move it. You can't easily move it with your hand. It's Mandara. So now, again, you can't get some rope, some cloth or anything, obviously, because it's a mountain. Devas thought of a plan. Let us go to the king of snakes. His name was Vasuki, right? So they went to the king of snakes and they said, "Oh, Vasuki, can you be the rope for our churning?" Vasuki said, "Oh, this is such a beautiful thing that you're all doing. I will definitely contribute." So he came in. Now, say when you're churning, you have to churn it with two hands, right? You can't churn it with just one hand like this. That's not possible. So Devas were like, okay, we are very powerful, but we need people who are as powerful as us in order to churn. And who are they? They are the demons or the Asuras. So Devas reluctantly went and said, okay, can you all come and, let us all churn the ocean? Demons were like, yeah, we wanted you to come here. We will also get a small part of the Amrit. We will also be able to live immortal. Right? Okay, fine. Devas had to agree for this. Can't help it. Now, what happened was, Devas were like, see, Vasuki is the king of snakes and his head is, the most powerful. So Asuras, you please take the head of the snake. Asuras were a little bit fooled. They were like, this is nice. We're getting importance. Okay, we'll take the head. And Devas took the tail. They started churning. And churning. First thing happened. It was milk ocean. It was Mandara. And there was churning. What will happen to the stick when it has no foundation? It started sinking. Devas like, oh, what is happening? What do we do now? And that is when Lord Vishnu again came to the rescue. He was like, his first avatar or incarnation came in, that is the Kurma or the tortoise, right? What's a tortoise? Tortoise is what? Like this, right?
Yes,
All of us can hold tortoise like this. So he came in as a tortoise. There are other stories also which say this was actually another name for this Kurma avatara is Akarupa, right? Who is also known as the king of turtles. He came in and then he stood under the Mandara and it became the base. Then they started churning. Vasuki was okay. What is happening? My stomach. Something's happening. And he started spewing something. What is there in a snake's mouth?
Poison.
Yes. So Vasuki started spewing poison. He was so sick. So he started spewing poison. Who was at the head side? The
Demons.
Asuras.
Yeah, the Asuras or the demons were at the head side. And so there were people who were falling down. One was like, hey, Devas, what are you trying to do? We're all falling like flies here. What is happening here? You can't do this. Well, come, we'll immediately exchange. We'll do this. Then Devas said, no. You agreed to this. You agreed to take the head. So we are not doing this. No. So this went on for a while. But in the meantime, what was happening? Vasuki was spewing that poison which was taking over the entire world, entire universe. People were also falling sick. That is when Lord Shiva came down. Now, Shiva came in and he very silently he drank off everything. As he was drinking, there was a hand. He looked. It was Lord Parvati, goddess Parvati who was there, who was holding the neck. And because of her power, right? So Lord Shiva's entire neck started turning blue and it stayed there. That is how Lord Shiva gets the name Neelakant, right? So then now entire poison is gone. 2 barriers are gone. 2 constraints are gone. Again, Devas and Asuras start churning. That's when the first thing came out, and that was the Ayravata, right? Which had got lost. So that came out first out of the Kshira Sagara or the churning ocean, the milk ocean. And Ayravata was so happy to be back in front of Devas, and he was like, "Oh, Indra, please take me back as your Vahana." Indra accepted. That was the first animal which came out, a powerful animal. Next, then came out another animal. It was so white. It was so bright. What was
horse.
A horse, yes. A horse came out of the ocean and its name was Uchchai Shravas, right? Its name was Uchchai Shravas because it used to make such high-pitched sound, right? So that is the Uchcha. Uchcha means high. Uchchai Shravas. Yeah, high-pitched sound. So that is what the horse, that is what it was called. And Indra was very clever here. He was like, Uchchai Shravas, you come to me only. But later on, it went to King Mahabali from, who was the king of Devas. Asuras. Right? It then went on to Mahabali. So this was the second animal. Then came a wonderful tree. Right? It had small flowers, white petals and red stalk. It was called Pari Jaat. Right? In Bengali, I think it is called Shivali, right? And it is also called night jasmine in English because it blooms at night, right? So Pari Jaat or Pari
blooms at 4 o'clock.
Sorry, Baba?
Ma'am, blooms at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it blooms usually in the dawn time and it falls down.
In Malayalam, we call it as Nalmani Pookal.
Nalmani Pookal, is it?
Yes, so Nal means 4 o'clock flowers.
Oh, lovely. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Akshit. Yes. So this came out and it became the tree of the heavens. Then came out another animal. This was a little different. It had the face of a wonderful woman. It had the body of a cow. It had big wings, white wings. Then it had the tail of a peacock. And what was it called? Kamadhenu, right? So it is known as the mother of cows. So Kamadhenu came out of it. And now Devas got something, Asuras got something. So sages said, see, we do a lot of rituals. We use ghee, we use butter and everything for the rituals for all of you. So give Kamadhenu to us. So they took Kamadhenu. Then, as a gem, came the wonderful goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, right? So when Lakshmi came out of the ocean, that is when Lord Vishnu said, hey, I need you as my wife. And that's how he took her as his consort. Then came a wonderful heavenly body that we all see at night. That is the moon, the Chandra, right? So he came out, right? And he then took the place in Shiva's hair, on his hair. So that is how Shiva became known as Chandramauli, right? So all these came out. But why were they churning the ocean? For Amrit, for the sweet nectar, the elixir. That was only not coming out. So Devas and Asuras went on and on and on and on. Then came a man. They were all expecting some sort of a pot, maybe, but it was a man. They all looked. One said, hey, observe, he has something in his hand. So he had a nice golden pot. This was Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is said to be the doctor of the Devas. So he came with Amrit or the nectar, the sweet nectar, the something that can make you immortal. He came with that, right? And after consuming that Amrit is when the Devas got all the different kinds of their powers back and they then move forward, right? Now, if you want to know more about more such, Indian mythology stories, right? So, QShala, we have actually put out a video on our YouTube channel, right? And which has 3 nice stories from the Indian mythology, something that speaks about what happened when Amrit was being divided, right? So do watch that. Before we wrap up today's session, I quickly want to get a couple of shares from all of you. What value does stories add in your life?
Ma'am, for me, like it helps me to form new sentences and find new words.
Okay, sentences and words.
It helps me to build up my vocabulary. It helps me to understand about more and more stories. And it helps me a lot improve my reading and etc.
Lovely, lovely.
It helps us to become good, better, best.
Good, better, best individual. That is lovely. Super, thank you.
It never helps us to become bad, worse.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Yes, thank you for that, Ivan. Tanishka?
It helps to build our creativity and thinking.
Creativity and thinking. Ooh, that is nice. Shreya?
Ma'am, it lets me learn new words and search for the word in my dictionary.
Superb. Words, new words is what we're learning. Yes, Suryanshi?
They make my vocabulary better and also they make me a little smarter so that I don't get tricked easily.
Oh, that is nice. So morals, we're getting cleverer here. Very nice.
Ma'am, we get clever when we read morals.
Super.
Ma'am?
Yes. 1 second, Pani. I'll come back to you. Yes. Who else wanted to say? Yes, Agrima, go ahead.
Yeah, it just makes me happy and it is all my stress. But sometimes it makes me a little too, hyperactive to know what's coming next. So I don't get off the book, and that gets
Teaches me new things and make me tell that we want more mythological things.
Super. That is nice, Amaya. Thank you so much for that. Yes, with that, we will wrap up today's Adda here.